So, first topic today we want to talk about is Far Cry 5. They just released a full-length trailer. We got 3 characters with their own little backstory. They're all living in the same town.
It's more like a monologue than a backstory.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
What's their backstory, not the backstory of the game? Because they just told us that they have their own things they're protecting, and that's why they're fighting.
That's right.
Yeah, it's kind of showing their motives.
Yeah, true. I want to be the preacher.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I don't know if they're playable characters or not. That's what I'm kind of curious about.
They might be like NPC helpers.
Yeah.
That'll
might be where you get your
buzzkill.
Side missions from, maybe.
But he's still badass.
So basically,
awesome.
you think maybe they're talking to your character then?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It looked like that, especially with the first guy with the plane, that they were talking to somebody in the room.
Yeah.
Like someone asked him a question. Who? Remember the kid thing?
Maybe he was just talking to his Gatling gun.
He did seem a little out of it.
I talk to my Gatling gun every night.
You have to. You got to stroke it a little bit, make it clean.
Spin it up, you know?
All right. But anyway, so there's a bit of controversy.
Controversy.
That's not even a word.
It is.
It's the 10th controversy.
Yeah. With this game, because it kind of... I mean, Carmine, you've played how many Far Cry's? Have you played them all, or have you just played the
3?
third?
I played all the way through. I loved 3. 3 was a very nice surprise. Because it was like one of those games that kind of snuck out in like December.
Yeah.
And I started playing. I was like, this game is awesome. And I felt bad because like nobody was talking about it at the time because it was like after Black Friday and stuff like that.
Because you didn't have a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But
with that, Jonah, you played the second one, right?
Yes, very briefly.
Yeah, because it wasn't that.
Apparently, the series got good with 3.
was really good. And then 4, I played 4 too for a period of time.
I bought the collection, like 2, 3, and Blood Dragon on 360.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play them in order.
I should have just played 3.
Yeah, I should have just played 3.
The stories don't tie together. There
Yeah.
are different stories every single time.
Right.
Played 2, got bored, left, never came back. So maybe I'll give it a try again. I heard Blood Dragon was amazing.
Just play 3.
Just play 3.
Play 3
Okay.
first. And
Chris,
then
you
can play
played
Blood Dragon.
you played 4?
No, yeah, I played 4.
Did you like 4?
I didn't finish it. I bounced off.
I didn't either, which is surprising because I love 3 so much.
Yeah.
Now, looking at what this game is kind of showing in this trailer and
Yeah.
all this craziness, what like how different does it feel already?
I didn't see any gameplay footage, so I can't tell you.
I can tell you just based on what the trailer is showing, it's going to still be a Far Cry game. Like there's going to be outposts, there's going to be hunting because you saw like that guy getting chased by a bear. You'll probably have
That was hilarious.
like you're gonna have different hunting and gathering that you have to get in order to probably upgrade your ammo pouches, this or the other thing. The weaponry, the cars, the vehicles, and everything else like that, like all going to be very Far Cry. The interesting thing is probably that's going to stand out about this one is, and with where a lot of the controversy is coming from, is pretty much the story element of it.
Mhm.
So I don't know necessarily where they're going to go with the story, how deep into the characters they're going to go, how deep into religious beliefs, or
They're going to say there's going to be airplane dogfights happening. That's
going to
awesome.
be really cool too. That's going to be different.
That's
Like,
freaking awesome.
The airplanes is going to be different because they've had helicopters before, but I'm not sure about the airplanes.
No, the airplanes are going to be cool.
They've had the hand gliders and stuff like that from Far Cry 3,
Yeah.
but I don't think they've ever had like the planes where you're going to be having like dogfights and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
The game looks pretty awesome as far as like from a
just
video
from a CG
Yeah,
trailer
from-
that we saw.
from a video
Looks
game perspective,
top-notch.
plus what they've released of like information of what you'll be able to do.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. I don't understand this whole controversy stuff. I love saying controversy now.
I know, that's my thing. Controversy.
My controversy.
But yeah, the biggest controversy is really just pretty much like the fact that they're a religious group, and it looks like they're kind of mimicking a Christian belief system, and a lot of people are up in arms about that.
Oh, give me a break. It's fiction.
It could end up being...
Even the city is fiction too, by the way. Hope, Montana doesn't exist.
There's no
They just
hope in
pretty much-
Montana.
There's no hope in Montana.
No hope.
Actually, Montana's a beautiful state.
Yeah, with guns.
A hopeless
Lots
state,
and
but
lots
beautiful.
of guns.
Nothing
There
wrong
you
with
go.
Yeah.
You can shoot the bears that chase you.
There are bears.
There's a chance that because of the outcry, people start boycotting. It could get censored. I don't think it can be
I don't think it
properly
can be
censored because it's so.
That would be.
I was already
to the
promised
story.
Peggy 18.
that would be ridiculous if they censor it like
They
that.
did they change? I'm trying to think because Far Cry 4 they had that whole big controversy where Pagan Min was sitting at the throne in Far Cry 4, and he had his head on, I guess, what your character was, and he was like a Philippine type character, or like a colored character, and he was like pretty much had his hand on that character, and the character was actually like holding like a live grenade or something. I can't remember what the actual cover art was, but I feel like they actually changed that because there was an outcry for it. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I think I remember something about that.
Now, are these gamers yelling, or are these just the regular media folk?
At a certain point, it's kind of blurs into whatever
Loud noise.
People are just gonna complain where they're gonna complain, I guess.
Well, that's what it is. That's just that. It's noise. It's loud noise of people just being stupid. They're digging way too much into it. Instead of, because you have a bunch of movies that always go into really controversial topics, and you don't have people like, bitching and complaining about that. And then you have a video game and they're not even looking at like what the video game's about. They're judging it based on the cover.
That's what I do.
The literal cover. Yeah, all right, yeah. So you judge the book by its cover. The cover. It looks like the Last Supper with the. And
that's the idea of it.
It's not even the American flag.
No, it doesn't have stars on the actual flag.
It's not. It's
like whatever that symbol is.
It looks similar, but it's not the American flag, and people are getting so pissed off. It's stupid.
It's an extremist version of what Christianity might be, and that's kind of where they're going with it. Just like where like you have like the Muslim religion, and then you have ISIS. Mm-hmm. This is supposed to be, I guess. You have Christianity, and then you have whatever this is in this game. And I guess that's kind of where the controversy or people are getting up in arms about. But at the end of the day, like Chris said, it's a fictional world. It looks really interesting. I think there's going to be some thought-provoking stuff in the storyline. Mm-hmm. But the thing I'm most excited about, and we just looked it up before, that's going to be full co-op.
Yeah, which is full great.
Campaign co-op. That's awesome. That's not done that often anymore.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for something like that.
I might actually get the game because of that.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes with those kind of games, open world, I don't like going through them by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having somebody there to just
that's a lot of hours too.
Yeah.
I used to play Ghost Recon with a couple of friends who usually sit at this table with me every time we do a podcast, and we played the game.
What happened?
It was co-op. I don't know.
What happened to those people?
I have no idea. They
sound like great chums.
Before we talk about Ghost Recon, we were talking about with Far Cry 4, they allowed for co-op experiences, but it was only like certain side missions.
Right,
yeah.
Which I think is awesome that they're doing full campaign, start to finish. You can play as.
Well, they learned
co-op.
their lesson because it was cheap.
Yeah,
it
was like a kind of worked in co-op that was
Is the 2-player co-op for the campaign confirmed, or is that like a rumor? Is that like a press release or something?
I don't know. I mean, we looked it up.
There was
before.
a list, but I'm not sure if that was official.
I mean, if it's not, I'm going to be really disappointed. So hopefully, we're not lying to
I'm
you.
Like 80% sure that it is, and we can fact check that and put that in the comments or in the description or whatever.
But if it is, I'm really excited. I really hope it's not side missions. I hope it's a full-blown campaign co-op, because like I said, that's not done that often anymore.
Yeah.
If you could do split screen, that'd even be a plus, because that's not done that often anymore either. So like couch co-op,
yeah,
be badass.
It would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, could make for good videos.
But just talking about Ghost Recon, because it's been brought up about 2 or 3 times at this point.
That's because I got a bone.
But with Ghost Recon, it's interesting to think about, like, that game is primarily a Ghost Recon game that's thrown into Far Cry. Just by the setting and how everything works out. Like, you do have like a squad of team members and you have a little bit more tech to it. But if you're looking at like how Far Cry kind of works out, is that you have like the different outposts that you go into missions, and you go into these different outposts and actually take over territory, just like you do in like what Ghost Recon is. And that's kind of becoming the formula for a lot of Ubisoft games, even looking at Assassin's Creed in a sense.
I was looking at that game as Mercenaries 3.
Oh, Ghost Recon?
Yeah.
With elements of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Ghost Recon's doing really, really well. It's charted on NPD for the last couple months.
Well, I love that game. The game's awesome.
Even when
I don't get bored.
I buy it every day. That's
even,
why
it's even when
you're so
I think it was when Zelda released. I mean, Zelda's a one console game, so it's hard to kind of compare.
Right. Most console game.
But that month, in that month of March, Ghost Recon charted at the top of NPD that month.
Yeah.
And that's what Ubisoft's been so great about doing with these games, is that they've been creating these games that have very long legs. And it's not, they don't just like launch a game and that's like, all right, it's out there, we're good, we'll get the DLC out, and we'll see you for the next iteration. Rainbow Six has a whole onslaught of content that continues to come out, and that's very MLG focused now.
Right.
Division is Division, they're added updates to it, but Ghost Recon, Ghost Recon, they're going to keep adding content with, and I think that they added, or I don't know if they added it yet, but they're adding on the PvP version of it as well, where you're going to have multiplayer and stuff like that. So the great thing about what Ubisoft's been doing is that they're bringing out a game, and even if it doesn't get necessarily like amazing reviews off the bat, they continue to keep developing it and adding to it and listening to the community, and they're making these games more of a there's a word I'm looking for, a platform type of a game than it is just like, all right, goes out, either lives or dies, and then they move on to the next one. This seems to be that their formula now is trying to build legs to these games so people are playing them well after launch.
Well, it's good to see that they have time invested into a product. They continue to nurture that product, even if it's receiving some bad cred. But I mean, like Far Cry 5, I think is going to be the same way.
I hope so. That's the only thing that's kind of weird. Like, I feel like the Ghost Recon games have been really good about creating that longevity with. But, like, you look at, like, Watch Dogs 2, nobody's really playing that game that much anymore. Assassin's Creed is usually out. Their DLC comes out, and that's it. So
Right. Well, those are single-player games with a story-based experience. If you look at stuff like, you know, what all of the Tom Clancy stuff that they have been producing, a lot of it has a lot of like multiplayer elements, and I think that's what that's where they make a lot of their money.
Yeah,
to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, no, I feel this game is it's gonna bank on the first like reaction, so it's gonna be one of those games where because of the background, people are gonna be like, it's either gonna be okay, hey, check out this awesome moment, and people are gonna want to jump in on it, or it's gonna be like the complete opposite, where like if it comes out glitchy, if it comes out whatever, people are going to avoid it like the plague.
Well, the one thing I will say they got going for with Far Cry already, and the controversy is actually good for Ubisoft, because they are getting so much publicity right now without even having to pay for it.
a lot of hashtags probably.
Yeah.
A lot of out of the industry.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
which you wonder if it's they planned that. Like, hey, let's work
yeah.
on this.
Yes. Their PR department knew exactly what was probably going to happen.
They put that poster. They put that life-size poster on top, in like a room in front of everybody, and they're like, "Yup, that's gonna piss people off." Yep. Put it out there.
So. But, any final thoughts on this?
I think the controversy is basically noise. Honestly, I think if you look at the majority of people, they are probably looking at this going, this is fiction. This is a video game. It's Far Cry. If you're a fan of Far Cry, you're looking at it going, Far Cry is controversial from the start. Period. That's so, I mean, like, this shouldn't surprise anybody. So.
I mean, like, I'm not good publicity and bad publicity is always good publicity.
It's still publicity.
It's still publicity.
Yeah. So I think it's going to sell a lot. People are going to be watching it on Twitch, streaming it. They're going to want to stream it. They're going to buy it. And I think that this is going to be one of the most well-sold games in the Far Cry series.
I think that final thought on it is just that right now the window is February. Yes. Is the release date for it. The only problem with February is that as of last week, I think, or maybe it was the week before that, we talked about Red Dead Redemption got delayed until quarter one. Right. So if it lands anywhere near Far Cry, that could hurt Far Cry. Even though they're technically different games, they're still open world games. So if Red Dead Redemption 2 falls anywhere close to Far Cry within that month, it could potentially hurt it.
True.
Other than that, I'm pretty excited. I'm actually excited to play it. Like I said, I love Far Cry 3. 4 I kind of fell off of. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit more thought-provoking type of a campaign with a little bit more interesting characters. And like I said, if it's a co-op campaign that I can play through with a buddy, that's going to be awesome. So I look forward to seeing what it's going to be. And I'm excited to see how the game's going to turn out.
Excited.
Yeah, so. But guys, let us know what you think down in the comments.